welcome to the series of video lectures on microwave engineering. Today, in this session, we will discuss how to measure the impedance, measurement of impedance. So, this article comes in Unit 6 of microwave engineering. Let us see, impedance at microwave frequencies can be measured using any one of the following three methods. So, there are three methods by which we can measure the unknown impedance. So, by using magic T, using slotted line, using reflectometer. So, we have seen in magic T, applications of magic T, how magic T can be used to measure the unknown impedance. So, we have discussed in magic T applications how to measure the unknown impedance using magic T, where magic T is used as a bridge to measure the unknown impedance. So, today we will discuss how the slotted line can be used to measure the unknown impedance, as well as the reflectometer method which is used to measure the unknown impedance. These two methods are very important in the examination point of view. Now, the measurement of, let us see the measurement of impedance using slotted line. Let us discuss first point, when the load is not properly matched to the waveguide. So, what will happen when the load is not properly matched to the waveguide? The reflections will occur. So, what happens when the reflections occurs? The incident and reflected waves will combine to produce a standing wave. This standing wave contains V maximum and V minimum. So, generally, we get a standing wave like this. So, incident and reflected waves will combine, that will produce a standing wave. This consisting of V maximums and V minimums, as you know that. Now, so this is the arrangement for impedance measurement using slotted line. So, this is the general microwave bench setup. So, this is the microwave source, pad, where pad can be used as an variable attenuator, where we can reduce the amplitude or the power of the input signal. Input signal power can be adjusted with the help of this pad. See, this is a slotted line. Slotted line is a very important component in microwave laboratory. So, slotted line, where to the slotted line unknown load which is to be measured is connected, and a crystal detector is connected, and a DC millivoltmeter is connected like this. So, this is the arrangement which is used to measure this unknown load. So, here using slotted line, the position of Vmax, Vmin and also VSWR are accurately determined. See, this is a slotted line is very important component, as I said, in the microwave laboratory. As the name itself indicates, it consisting of a slot in the device, in the microwave component, where we can move the probe like this towards right or towards left. There will be a probe in the slotted line, where we can move this probe along the slotted line with the help of a knob. With the help of a knob provided to the slotted line, we can move this probe inside the slotted line towards right and towards left. And the slotted line also consisting of scaling to measure the positions of Vmax and Vmin and other measurements we can do on the slotted line. So, this is a very important component. Now, using slotted line, the position of Vmax and Vmin and also VSWR are accurately determined. See, by moving the slotted line, by moving the probe inside the slotted line, first we measure, let us find out Vmax and note down the reading on the slotted line, where the position of Vmax, at what position on the slotted line Vmax is occurring. Similarly, adjust the slotted line, the probe on the slotted line, such that the milliammeter shows V minimum, and measure the reading on the slotted line, or measure the dimension of the slotted line where this V minimum occurs. In this way, we can read the positions of Vmax and Vmin on the slotted line dimensions. So, now by the ratio of Vmax and Vmin, we can measure the standing wave ratio. So, that is voltage standing wave ratio, VSWR. What is VSWR? It is the ratio of Vmax by Vmin. So, this is the first setup. Now, in the second setup, what we will do is that in setup 2, the load ZL is replaced by a short circuit as shown in the figure, and the shift in minimum is measured. See, in this method, the unknown load is replaced by a short termination. In the same circuit, in the same diagram, in the same microwave bench, replace the unknown load by a short circuit such as matched load. So set up to impedance measurement using slotted line. Let us see if the minimum is shifted to the left. If the minimum is shifted to the left, then the impedance is inductive, and the shift is towards the right, then it is capacitive. See, these are the standing waves. 3 standing waves I have shown. 3 standing waves. See, this is the standing wave from the load. Remember that the standing wave is always from the load. So this is the standing wave when the load impedance is there in the setup. When the load impedance is there in the setup, so this is the standing wave. This is the Vmax and this V minimum. Now let us short circuit the load in the second setup, replace by matched termination. Now observe the standing wave. If the V minimum is shifted, this is the original V minimum position. If the V minimum is shifted to the left, then the load is inductive load, which we have mentioned here. If the shift in the minimum with respect to this, the shift in the minimum is towards right, then the load is capacitive. In this way we can note down whether the load is inductive or whether the load is capacitive load. Now the unknown impedance can be measured by using the data recorded and a Smith chart. So the unknown impedance can be measured how we have measured the position of Vmax, position of V minimum, we have measured VSWR, and we have noted the other readings like this, inductive or capacitive. With all these measurements and the Smith chart, we can measure the value of unknown impedance in this method. See, in this method has advantage that the magnitude and phase of both the reflection coefficient and impedance can be measured in this method. So that means in this method, so this is the magnitude of reflection coefficient, phase of reflection coefficient. This is the magnitude of impedance, phase of reflection coefficient, phase of impedance, sorry. So these measurements you can make in this method. So the magnitude and phase of reflection coefficient as well as the magnitude of impedance and phase of impedance can be measured by using this method. So this is the slotted line method, which is very important method to measure the value of unknown impedance. So let us see the other method, which is also important method in the examination, measurement of impedance using reflectometer. See, this reflectometer indicates magnitude of impedance but not the phase angle, whereas the slotted line measurement gives both. So this is, in this method we can measure we can obtain only the magnitude of unknown impedance, but it cannot obtain the phase of the impedance, whereas in what slotted line we discussed, slotted line gives both magnitude as well as phase of impedance. So this is the arrangement of reflectometer method. So this is the very arrangement of reflectometer method. This is the microwave source which delivers power PI. This is the pad with the help of we can adjust the input power. This is the forward DC stands for directional coupler of 20 dB. Reverse directional coupler of 20 dB. This is the load from where the reflections will occur. Say this is the reflected power PR. This is the forward detector. This is the reflected reverse detector. This is the reflectometer from which we can measure the reflection coefficient rho. Now here two directional couplers are used to sample incident power PI and reflected power PI from the load. Here see, you can see that two directional coupler. This is one directional coupler, this is second directional coupler. These two directional couplers are used to sample the input power as shown in the indication and the reflected power from the load like this. So both directional couplers are identical except their directions. These both directional couplers are identical directional couplers, but the direction is different. The magnitude of reflection coefficient can be directly obtained on the reflectometer from which impedance can be calculated. So the magnitude of reflection coefficient can be directly obtained on the reflectometer from which the impedance can be calculated. So this is the how the reflectometer reading. This is the formula which we have to remember. So this is magnitude of reflection coefficient is simply square root of received power to incident power. So from this we can measure the magnitude of reflection coefficient. So this is also we have shown same formula in words, reflected power by incident power PR by 100 by PI by 100, 100 gets cancelled, so it is square root of PR by PA. So this is the reflectometer which gives the magnitude of, remember that, magnitude of reflection coefficient from this formula. Now, since the reflectometer gives rho, magnitude of reflection coefficient, the impedance can be calculated using the relation. As you know that the reflection coefficient is ZL minus ZG by ZL plus ZG, and generally we write characteristic impedance, but ZL minus ZG by ZL plus ZG. So this is the reflection coefficient formula, where ZL is the unknown impedance and ZG is the known impedance. So ZG is the known impedance in this formula, ZL is the unknown impedance. From this is known impedance. So this is already we calculated from the reflectometer. ZG we know, from which we can calculate ZL, unknown load impedance. So this is how we can calculate the unknown impedance, because of the reflectometer gives rho and ZG we know. So from this formula we can calculate the unknown load impedance. Due to directional coupler properties, there will be no interference between forward and reverse waves. Because of the directional coupler properties, there is no interference between this wave and traveling wave and reflected wave. So there is no interference because from the properties of both these directional couplers. The input power is kept to a low level by means of a pad. So this is the purpose of pad we have discussed. The input power can be adjusted with the help of pad. So the reflectometer accuracy is greatest at a low VSWR. If the VSWR is very low, this method gives very accurate results of unknown impedance. So these are the very important methods in the examination. Measurement of impedance. The impedance can be measured by magic T, which we have discussed in the applications of magic T. The impedance can be measured using slotted line. The impedance measured using reflectometer. So this is very important question. Thank you.